Hello to all of you out there in the IE community, our alumni, our students, our staff, our faculty, and anybody else tuning in today for another episode of our business newsletter interviews. Today, I have the pleasure of being with Christopher Fuchs, who is the co-founder of Honest Greens, which is an amazing place, I have to say. I personally love it. And we're apparently lucky to have you here because you guys are under the radar and not doing any public interviews right now.
That's
kind of
correct.
Keeping the success under the radar, right?
That's true, yeah.
So thank you for being with us and with our community. So, you know, sometimes people tell you what can't be done, and I think you know, if you kind of reverse it, if you go back in time, one might ask, well, would healthy food, you know, in a kind of from the orchards, from the farms, a lot of vegetables, you know, healthy proteins, would that work in Spain? I think a lot of people might have said no.
Right.
And yet you guys did it and you know, are on a path to clear success. So tell us a little bit about, like, what are the secret ingredients to your success?
Sure, Lee, thanks for the question. I'd be happy to share that with you. You know, Spain has amazing gastronomy and very fresh, wonderful food, but you need to have some time to eat it. It's not quickly served, it's not normally served quickly, and to have the high quality ingredients you need to spend quite a lot of money. So the gap that we saw was that it was really difficult to get good food on the go in Spain. So we actually began a 2-year journey traveling throughout the world, from Tel Aviv to LA and back and forth, looking for actually inspiration when it came to, you know, healthy food, you know, to concepts that we could bring to Spain. And we were actually surprised to find many health food concepts, but nothing that we really found delicious. So we actually went on a mission to make healthy food delicious. And the way we approached that was actually bringing on a third co-founder who was a Michelin star chef, Ben, and decided to try and reverse engineer a Michelin star kitchen. So we took the same processes, the same you know, really high quality fresh products that you'd find in a Michelin star kitchen, the same, you know, machinery, and, you know, applied technology, applied innovation, and found a way to kind of, you know, to serve up to 1,000 customers an hour, and be able to actually serve a really high quality, delicious product at a very low price. But what you're saying is absolutely true, that when we were, you know, developing the concept, people told us we were crazy.
Nuts.
We were totally crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you know, it's not going to work in Spain. No one's going to, you know, wait in line. No one wants a plate full of vegetables. They just want tapas. And that was actually, to me, one of the biggest lessons I think I learned as an entrepreneur, that the big ideas are not going to be the ones that everyone, you know, says, oh yeah, that's a no-brainer, because then that would have already been done.
It's a no-brainer. Everybody's brain would have come up with it, right?
Exactly. So the really big ideas are going to be the ones where everyone says you're crazy, and you have to, you know, jump off a ledge and actually just go for it. But to us, it was, you know, we were so passionate and had the idea so clear that we just had to get it done, even though I remember the day before opening thinking, man, we're going to fail. This is not going to work.
Yeah. So I mean, I think this is a great lesson for our community out there of the idea that basically in entrepreneurship or in intrapreneurship and innovation inside of a company, you know, I mean, you can do lots of market research on the present, and I'm a big data person, so I think that's important. But sometimes, you know, you have to define the future and then believe in that definition, recognizing that there's going to be this gap between the present and the future, and the naysayers are going to say, you know, sorry, no, and you got to have the gumption to keep going. So you mentioned healthy, you mentioned, you started getting in a little bit to sustainability. I wanted to ask you about that because we have a lot of people interested in that now. I mean, do you consider Honest Greens a purpose-driven business, and what kind of sustainable practices, if any, are you guys using?
Sure. The core of our entire company is basically being a purpose-driven brand. And our clear purpose, our clear mission is to democratize healthy living through real food. And we believe we can make communities healthier by offering real food, you know, for an accessible price, making it convenient, and making it very delicious. So that is absolutely the base of Honest Greens. And I would say the other kind of pillar would be community. We strive to create a community among all our stakeholders, everything, from our employees to our customers. We kind of see Honest Greens as a bit of a Soho house without a membership fee. It's a place to live, to work, to see, to be seen, to feel part of a group. And because of that, the community also extends to our suppliers. So 80% of our products come from local suppliers. They're mostly small artisanal suppliers. They use responsible techniques. We don't have any preservatives in our food. We serve real food, which means it comes straight from the ground with no chemicals, no added sugars or anything like that. So absolutely, our kind of the promise that we deliver to our customers is whole real food. And just to go one step farther, we actually see ourselves as a bit of a health food company, in the sense that if you look at the amount of actual disease, chronic illness that's caused by food and lifestyle,
chronic inflammation, these kinds of things.
It's incredible. So we think preventing illness through food is actually the way of the future, and we intend to kind of be the pioneers.
Reminds me a little bit of that kind of the famous business case of the company, I think it was, that was doing something with hooks that hang pictures, but they redefined themselves. It wasn't we don't make hooks, or we don't make drills. What we do is help people decorate their house, right. And that when you get to that larger definition, it sounds like it changes what you do. And so in your case, it's not just food; it's part of a lifestyle. So you're connecting to something larger. And it sounds like also, I think an interesting message for our audience is that it sounds like your brand and the purpose is very much aligned with actually your operations.
Totally.
And speaking of operations, so you mentioned the word tech before. So when we think about healthy food and purposeful companies, I mean, some people might argue tech is actually a kind of a force against that doesn't fit in that brand. But in your case, actually, from what I understand, tech has actually been an important part of what you do. So maybe you could share with us a little bit about how is that and why is that? Sure.
Yeah, we're making a huge investment into tech, and that is not typical for a restaurant company. In fact, if you look at the different industries, food and beverage, restaurant industry has probably the lowest tech penetration of many. But we think that's changing, and COVID has definitely sped that up. So we think that the best way to meet our customers, the best way to increase customer frequency is actually getting to know them and having a personal relationship with them. Mm-hmm. So as I said, most restaurants they have no idea who their customer is, but we have a new take on that, which we believe the more customer adoption we can have to our native tech platform, the better we can know our customer, and the better we can then increase the frequency. Because if I know your tastes and preferences, if I know, say, you're on a keto diet, I can actually show you content that's relevant to you when you open my app. I can send you marketing messages to help you achieve your health goals. So we think that's fundamental, and we're making a big bet on that. And your convenience is also another thing. We're an omni-channel business. We do not only sell food in the store, we also have takeaway, delivery, catering, and so that can all be found in one place on the app. So we believe that's the future. And to reach our mission of actually changing the way people eat and creating healthier communities, frequency is fundamental. Because I can't change the way the health of a community if people only go to Honest Greens once every 6 months. Like, my goal is to have people eat there every single day.
All the time, yeah.
So we believe technology is actually the key to help us do that.
So it's a critical enabler in the sense of your ability to actually connect with customers and provide customer service in this case. And tech is sort of an integral part of that connectivity,
absolutely.
Human connectivity.
And also I think reaching the younger generation. One of the things that really makes me feel good and really how I see the impact we're having is, I can't tell you how often I'm approached by a mother or a father, and they come to me and they say, I just want to thank you for creating Honest Greens. I'm like, why? Like, my daughter, she's 18, and the only place she would ever go before Honest Greens was Telepizza, McDonald's, and now the only place she wants to go is Honest Greens. And it's not that she's that interested in healthy food, but it's so delicious, it's such a lifestyle brand, she's so captivated by it, that's the only place she wants to go. So you're actually helping my family lead healthier lives, which would, and tech is a big, a big tool to make that happen.
It's amazing. So you've inverted the equation, really. I mean, I go because I want great food,
right,
and it happens to be really healthy, and that aligns with my values, my purpose, and it makes me happy, as opposed to, well, I go for healthy food, and it's not great, but I put up with it because it's good for me. So I mean, I think that's amazing. So congrats on that.
Many people who open health food concepts, they're aiming to shift the customer who's already buying those products from one competitor over to them, and that's not our approach. Of course, we have lots of people who already eat health food products coming to Honest Greens, but we want to break into the mass market. We think that's how we can really make a difference.
Amazing. Well, as a dean of the business school, I got to ask you one question. I mean, you're one of our alumni.
Yeah.
So you're the IMBA 2005, I believe.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay. Right. So we're proud of you.
Thank you.
A great example of kind of what we teach. So I'm just curious. I mean, if you had to pick one thing, and I'm sure there are multiple, but if you had to pick one thing from your overall experience at IE Business School that you think is an enabling or has been an enabling factor for you in this amazing company, Honest Greens, I mean, what would you say it is?
I thought about that point actually before coming here, because I thought you may ask me that. And there's so many things, but I have to say, to sum it up in one word, it's probably confidence. The entrepreneurship program really gave me a strong foundation of understanding how to make a business plan, the financials behind what a VC may ask you, how to talk to, how to know the vocabulary of business and entrepreneurship. So, I think summing it up, I walked out of IE having the confidence to approach a VC, approach a business partner, and think, hey, I belong on this table. So I would probably say that's the reason. Or that's it.
I love it. It's a great answer. So that's the main questions I have, and now I'd like to move to our rapid fire questions, and I need my rapid fire questions. Here they are. So for fun, some rapid fire questions. You're American, so Thanksgiving, which is coming up, is an important time of year for food, for sharing, and for community. So a couple quick questions. Short answers are good. So number one, what dishes make up your favorite Thanksgiving meal?
I have to say turkey. Obviously turkey with gravy is definitely the one. I'm actually, as you can probably guess, I'm kind of into food, so I kind of geek out with my turkey, and I Google all kind of crazy ways to stuff infuse butter into the skin, and stuff it full of all kind of herbs and things. So yeah, to me, a nice Thanksgiving. I'm guessing
your turkey is very different than the standard turkey. It's an honest turkey. Yeah. Gravy or cranberry sauce with your turkey, if you had to choose one?
Both.
Both. Okay, he chooses
mixed
two.
together.
He chooses two. Okay. What's your favorite Thanksgiving memory in brief?
I'd probably say I was after my MBA, I was in Egypt doing consulting, and just assumed that I wouldn't be celebrating Thanksgiving, and then I ended up meeting a group of Americans. We ran across Cairo and found a turkey in some weird market and took it home, and ended up having a really, really amazing Thanksgiving in Cairo, with no expectation of actually having any kind of celebration. So
that's a good one. I mean, that's a unique Thanksgiving memory. Does your family have any particular unique Thanksgiving tradition that you could share with us?
We actually, ever since I was little, we made this kind of old 70s Jell-O that, I don't know if you ever saw the Jell-O that came in these kind of casts. These kind of, it was like a mold.
The wobbly mold.
Yeah, the wobbly mold with these weird pickle or like canned like cherries and stuff. So we still do that, even though it's probably not very 2021, more like 1970, but yeah.
Part of the family tradition.
Part of the tradition, yeah.
And last, and this is a let's say a more profound question.
Sure.
I mean, what are you thankful for, given Thanksgiving?
I would say, I'm tremendously grateful to my team. I would never be here without the team I have in Honest Greens. We're 500 plus people.
500 plus people. Wow,
yeah, we are, and it's really their passion and their hard work that have driven the company forward. So I'm extremely grateful for them, I would say.
Well, we're out of time, but thank you so much for coming to be with us. I think this is an amazing story for our community, a story of entrepreneurship, a story of sustainable business, a story of purpose-driven business, a story of confidence and believing in yourself, even in the face of sometimes of getting alternative opinions from the market that make you want to kind of throw in the towel. In your case, you guys said, nah, we can do this, and you have. So best wishes from IE Business School, best wishes from our community, and we'd love to continue to follow you and your success upwards. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Lee. I really appreciate your time and everything you're doing for IE.